Hello, beautiful beloveds. This is Stephanie Parasha here, Divine Light, bringing you the latest upload, download, and energy update, along with a little bit of an update on my personal situation and just a general chit chat around the twin flame journey and how things are going for me. It's been pretty full on for me, and that's why it's taken me a little while to get this video to you, this recording to you. I actually have done a recording in between, but I just haven't had the time to get it up. So I've had to do another recording as more information, excuse me, has come through in between. So, excuse me, I have been doing a lot of throat chakra healing as well. I've personally been going through a lot of purging and clearing and intense emotional inner work. So that has been, yes, as we know, really, really intense, but really, really important as part of this journey. The information that I had put in the previous recording, I'll now include in this one, was a little bit more of a follow-on from the fives. So I wrapped up that 555 video, and then after that I got another little add-on message, which was what I was going to call 5.5. However, I'll just include that little bit of information in here because it wasn't a lot, but it was actually quite significant information. So I do want to get that out there in some way. So the 5.5 was showing me that 0.5 was halfway. So as we know, we are in at the moment a 9-year, 2016, about to go into. Some people see it as a new beginning, as a 1, but some people would also see it as a 10. So what I'm getting a sense of is that we are at a tipping point right now. We can kind of see that. We can see that within the political situation. There's many of us that are walking between two different dimensions, and funnily enough, one is called the fifth dimension, where a lot of people are anchoring in that energy and experiencing life according to the fifth dimension. Yet at the same time, the majority and the mainstream are still operating in a third and fourth dimensional layer. So there's these different aspects that are going on. However, there's a tipping between which way people are going to want to experience their life. And, if I had a choice, I think I would much rather choose to be living in a place where there's unconditional love, where there's no longer any pain or suffering or ego or fear. That's the place that I'm getting a little bit sick and tired of. I'm getting very tired of the play-outs of all the energies of power. And so we're seeing all of those coming now, and I'm being shown spiritually that we're at the brink, we're at a tipping point, we're at the 0.5, let's say, the 5.5, where things are about to go one way or the other. And, many of us are in that state of doing a lot of light work, a lot of clearing to anchor in the tipping point, to be the place that we finally are come together with people in unity, like-minded, hearts big and wide and open to bring in these new energies. So so that was a little bit more around the fives. Now the other thing that the 5 had brought up was the curveball, that, just when we think we're going along just fine, there's other things that come in. So these are kind of like, I guess you could say, little tests for us to check in with us and our energy and where we're flowing and how we're responding to life, or how life is responding to us. I guess just, again, we're constantly rechecking in with our energy and what we're drawing towards us and what we're experiencing and how we're experiencing that. So again, it's just continuing on with the learning, but not getting hung up on the learning or the way, being a particular way. So for me, that curveball came in the shape of, and as I had mentioned in my last video, a divine beloved being who is not what I believe to be my twin flame. The person I believe to be my twin flame at present, I've put a video in about this, I am questioning whether that person is actually rather my twin flame activator, the person who activated me to the twin flame energy, and then, without getting stuck on roles and different ways that that people have on this journey. For me, it's feeling at this point, and that could change. And I guess what I'm trying to express here is that it's important not to get tied down to things being a certain way, that we go with the twists and the turns that come on the journey as part of a bigger picture of experiencing divine love and our lessons and learnings along the way and how we come to that. So for me, this divine beloved being coming into my life in the physical realm, whereas my twin flame is in the physical realm as well with me, and we are friends, although we are not together in a partnership as such, or in any physical way, or we're experiencing any intimacy or other than we're friends, which is great, but it wasn't, basically the energy in which I'm feeling within me as an awakened twin flame that I'm wanting to activate. I need to be with somebody else, divine masculine, to activate that energy, and that calling is very strong for me. So this person came out of the blue pretty much, and has shown me all of the things in the physical that I have been asking for from my twin flame, who I now see as possibly being my twin flame activator, and this new beloved coming in as possibly being my twin flame, although I'm struggling with my mind that's trying to provide a lot of doubt for me around this, although my heart and the signs and the symbols that I'm getting in relation to this person are very strong, and the indication that this person could have been my twin flame all along. But anyway, I don't want to get caught up on any of this, because it is what it is in the moment, and I'm not treating him that way at the moment. I'm treating him in a way, and I'm seeing him in a way that is a divine lover, a divine being, very much my equal in terms of the masculine and feminine polarities. He's very spiritual as well, very emotionally evolved and mature, and so we are really having a beautiful time together. And that's also why I've been a little bit distracted, not getting to my videos, because I've just been pretty much caught up in a beautiful love bubble. So that's been just absolutely divine for me to be floating around in that love bubble. Obviously then the next stage of that is integration, and integrating it into back into the physical, grounding that into reality of this world, and how we will use our energies combined together to consciously co-create the beautiful divine love that the world is really needing right now. So that is the mission ultimately. So there was just a couple of other things that came through today that I would like to talk to you about. So the ultimate, again, along with divine love being the goal, is that we are still sovereign beings in our own right. So as much as our goal is here to bring in divine love with our divine counterpart, to co-create with the divine masculine and feminine energies, the yin and the yang energies coming together, is also that we continue to maintain our own energy field and our own self-care and our own self-love and our own boundaries. So again, this is a lesson that I've been learning this week around becoming and merging with another being. Has also meant that I've had to really recheck back in with my own self and who I am and what I'm about and what I'm prepared to accept and what I'm not prepared to accept. And again, that the ultimate always being self-care. Now, I've just listened to a really beautiful video this morning that may have been posted up for a little while, but I've just been catching up by Dio. If anyone wants to look up Dio, I really know that he's been controversial on many levels, but I really appreciate a lot of what Dio says, and you just take what's relevant to you. But he's put up a lot around suffering. I put up a video on suffering, and I think from my understanding and what I've also experienced, even in the love bubble, I have also felt that sense of when we separate from each other, or when we've been a little bit confused about what the other's been saying, I've really felt that pain in my heart. And Dio has done a beautiful explanation of how to deal with that kind of suffering that I'll just encourage you to listen to, that will cover those times when they come up, because I also wanted to talk about the triggers and the reflections and the projections that are coming in and around the times when we've got our little, our trigger points, or what I call like the little bruises that are on us. There are sore spots, and sometimes they get pressed, and the person that's going to press them the most is the person that's closest to us, and obviously that being either our twin flame or our beloved counterpart. And it's Dio was explaining that that is actually not your soul or your heart that's in pain, even though that's what it feels like at the time, that it's actually your ego that's been bruised. So and that is also a trigger point to look at what needs healing in you so that you can heal that and move on. So I've had a big trigger come up for me this week, and it's something so small, but I'll use it as an example to show you how things can get out of hand and what we need to work on within ourselves, even though, a lot of us think we've done a lot of light work and we're amazing beings and we've done all this healing. But I tell you what, we've still got these little wounds inside of us that come out to play, and sometimes in the most inappropriate times, but they're there for us to look at and to notice. They're keys to our healing, and they're really, really important on our journey, so we can't just ignore them or go into old patterns of unhealthy behaviour to avoid dealing with them. We need to really go deep here and look at what those triggers are showing us. So for me personally, I made a beautiful meal, and the response I got from my beautiful new divine counterpart was not entirely favourable, and I took that as a criticism and really went deep on it, and it actually really hurt, and I was quite sort of, here's my trigger, and oh my goodness, he hasn't said, wow, that's beautiful, babe, thanks for spending all that time on that meal, yum, that's delicious. He hadn't given me the response that I had required for my self-esteem and my self-worth. Therefore, my self-esteem and self-worth plummeted, went into my small child that was spent my life growing up with a critical father, went straight back into that, and just felt like as if I couldn't deal with the rest of the evening because I was so wounded. And I'm laughing about it now, but at the time it was pretty bad. And so, we all know how that feels when we're wounded, and I had to do a lot of meditation. I had to go and stand outside on the grass and anchor myself in and ground myself and bring in the light, and I tried all my great, wonderful spiritual techniques to overcome this situation. But basically what I eventually did was I put my walls up and I went into protection. I protected myself because that's the only way that I knew how to deal with the situation, that I was under threat, so I needed to protect myself. And that was the response that I used. And at that time it was important for me to do that too, because that was my way of healing myself. And then eventually the night went on where I think he responded to my block. Obviously he felt that I was blocking or protecting myself from being further hurt, and the night kind of deteriorated, and to the point where even though it was meant to be a beautiful date night for us, I actually decided to leave because I was feeling so, it just wasn't resonating for me. The energy wasn't resonant. I wasn't going to say it's you or me, let's blame, because, again, I'm sure many of us already know a lot about the projection and the mirror reflection of what happens when people respond to us in a way that we're behaving. So that could be that he was responding to me through my fear, or that he was maybe projecting something from him, but it was sort of going in both directions, and the energy wasn't favourable. Time for me to do the flight, which is another one of my threat survival responses, and I took off, and two really strange things happened that night that I really need to share with you, because I saw them as being really significant signs on the road, and that's the thing to look out for too, is what the signs are trying to show us. And I got in my car to drive home, and it was late at night. It was actually 2 o'clock in the morning, quite silly, but I decided that was enough for me. I was out of there, and I was driving home, and I heard this funny noise in the car, and it wasn't until I stopped and slowed down that I realised that the alarm on my phone was going off, and it had been set for 221. Now, my numbers are 222. They have been through the twin flame activation period. But the 221, I'll tell you more a little bit about that later, because I've been getting other number signs. The 221 was going off. I have no idea why my alarm would be going off at 2:21 in the morning as I'm driving away from the situation to go home. Was very, very strange. It's fine if my alarm goes off at 6:30 to wake me up to go to work, 7 o'clock, go to school, no problem. But 2:21 in the morning, why on earth was my alarm going off and driving in the car on that particular night? Seriously, that was a very strange phenomena. And us twin flames, we take these things quite seriously when they happen. And then as I was getting out of the car to gather all my belongings and things out of the car to get inside the house, I turned the torch on my phone, and suddenly I must have brushed something or other on the phone, and it started playing my music on my iTunes. And what song did it start playing? But one of my actual Twin Flame songs that I have on my playlist, my kitschy, cheesy Twin Flame song playlist, The Miracle of Love by Annie Lennox, the Eurythmics. It just played those words, and it just said, The Miracle of Love. And I was like, what? And so, okay, Divine Spirit, I know that you're right with me. I know I'm journeying through something deep here. The message I actually really felt it was about was that I have taken myself in my own hands. I am loving myself here. Even though it might appear that everything might be different from his point of view, I was loving myself. I was taking care of myself, my own boundaries, my own self-care, my own self-worth. That is important on our journey to love. So I felt as if I was being given a sign that I'd taken a step that I wouldn't have done in the past. I probably would have put up with some of that and not really done anything about it or behaved differently. But I actually said no to certain behaviour, and I cared about myself. I loved myself more. And so I felt that was what that message was. And there was also another hidden message in there that I needed to consider, that this is a situation of love. This is a significant part of my journey to be with this person at this time. So I also must honour that as well. So that was that part of it. So yeah, again, messages. So alongside all of this, I guess what I feel as if I'm doing, and I guess a lot of us are doing it as well. That's why I share these messages, because many come back to me and say, oh, I'm doing the same thing. And I'm like, yay, we're all doing the same thing. Great. So what we're doing is we're at the same time opening up to love, trusting and surrendering, yet at the same time keeping ourself and our heart safe. Okay. Now, safe has some strange meanings, and then as I said those words safe, I got shown a safe, as in one that you unlock with the keys or the code. And now keeping our heart safe, I'm being shown that we need to unlock that safe too, because our hearts being safe have also kept us in a prison as well. So we need to also unlock that safe to enable our heart to feel safe, to be in the open without that around it. And the way it's going to be doing that is gently and slowly trusting ourself and keeping ourselves safe in a newer way, but at the same time we're being treated with the respect and the love that we deserve from another person. So that other person is also going to help us unlock the codes to that safe. And our hearts will not be ready to come out of that safe and until they feel that they're being provided with that pure, unquestionable, unconditional love. And of course, that's on constant supply. That's not just on and off. So it's treating our hearts with that royal, beautiful love that they deserve, that it deserves. So, yeah. What else? I'm just thinking about what else I have to talk to you about. There is one more thing around the numbers I want to say. So again, just before I go on to the numbers, the message strongly is to keep looking at self, keep coming back to self, look deeper into self, look deeper into the fear. When do I start feeling strange? When do the triggers start? Just keep being there for you. Just keep saying, I love you all the way through. Be there for yourself. Keep yourself fully loved up in your own energy, and just notice that. So, okay, now before I finish off just at the end here, I just want to mention that I've been getting the number combinations that have been adding up to 12. So I've been waking up at 3:09, 4:08, and so I've been shown, what am I meant to be looking at here? And I got shown that it's to do with the number 12. Okay, 1212 is coming up. Sorry, I started recording this before I checked my calendar, but I think it's possibly that is close to the full moon, 12th of December. Hang on, when's full moon? Oh, we've got 14th in New Zealand as the full moon date. So obviously there's going to be a lead up to the full moon. I'm being shown for everybody to look out or to be very strongly aware for the 12th. 12/12 is being shown as another gateway. It's another portal. It's another opportunity to rise up, to go to the next stage, to transcend to the next level of love. Remember to be in your hearts, to be in the love, to be what we just talked about on this video. We're really being given many, many, many opportunities right now. Don't hold back. Don't be in the fear. Let go of the fears. Go into your new, beautiful, loving zone. Trust, trust, trust. Surrender, surrender, surrender. Love, love, love. And that's all pretty much I want to say today. I don't want to make this message too long. Okay, lots of love and light to you all. Just honour yourselves, honour your hearts, beautiful, divine lovers. Thank you so much. Bye for now.